What's up everybody, it's your boy Ember from Ember Productions, and welcome back to another discussion video. Today I'm doing something a slight bit different, but I plan on doing a few more in the future, that being a sort of character analysis video. It's mainly going over a certain character that I feel is flawed in their execution, but could be fixed in the matter of writing. Now, these types of videos aren't particularly pointed at RWBY, just like the What Ifs I plan to branch out and do other series that have flawed characters. I'm just mainly doing RWBY now, since that's what I've mainly been doing for the past few weeks. I had some internal debate on which character I wanted to go through first, but I'm going to do the character that's flaws are the most present, at least in my eyes, in the most recent part of the series. That being Robyn Hill in Volume 7 and Volume 8. The basic format for these videos is I'm going to look at the character, what flaws I think they have, and then explain and give an example of what these flaws are. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to go through how I would think to fix them, and then try to play it out as if it was part of the story. And with that all being said, let's get into it. Let's spark some discussion. When it comes to Robyn's flaws, I think there are some flaws that only apply to her, and then there are some that apply to everyone else during the Atlas arc. But for the most part, the flaws are usually related to the writing. The first flaw that comes to mind is mainly how she's built up and portrayed during the Atlas arc. We're constantly told that Robyn is a sort of pillar of the community, kind and caring at heart type of individual that everyone looks up to. Key emphasis on told. We are told that Robyn is a good person. We are not shown. It also doesn't help that the first person to tell us this is someone who sides with Robyn and has a radical viewpoint against Atlas, while simultaneously being in the back of a prison bus, and then being immediately murdered at the end of the episode. It's not exactly a credible source. It also doesn't help that there was an opportunity for them to show Robyn being built up as a sort of pillar of the community, which I'll get into later when I give an example of how it could have been done. The next flaw is that she doesn't really act like a hero. And what I mean by this is that she actually does some very criminal acts. Our first interaction with her is her stopping a military convoy that's delivering supplies to a project. And after the rally turned massacre, her immediate impulse is to attack an Atlas convoy. The attack on the convoy after the massacre is partially understandable, mainly because she's in the mindset that Atlas just tried to have her murdered using Penny. But the fact that her immediate impulse was to raid a military convoy is troubling. Funnily enough, I think this section could be fixed with a simple rework of the scene, alongside of another fix for a different issue. The third flaw that Robyn suffers is mainly something that affects everyone, and that's being hypocritical. I could go into a whole song and dance how it feels like Team RWBY post Volume 6 throughout all their morality out the goddamn window, but for the most part everyone can recognize that, and that's not the point of this video. This video is based on Robyn. Robyn comes off as a hypocrite in the way of demanding trust from other people, yet giving no trust to other people. All her interactions make her seem like she's not trusting of anyone, when she initially meets RWBY, when she talks to Clover, when she interacts with Blake and Yang, when she even knows Ironwood's plan for Amity, and yet still tries to interrogate him for more. It's even worse when you think that she has the ability to literally check if someone's lying to her or not, and yet she tries to use it to coerce people into telling her more information, instead of using it to stop people from being paranoid, that they're being lied to. Something that was also brought up that relates back to her being built up as a hero character is that at some point when she was talking to Morrow before the rally massacre, is that she ended up calling him Wags, which is literally making a demeaning name out of him having a tail. So that's also hypocritical by saying you're fighting for equality and then saying a demeaning nickname for a faunus. I also find it really comical that Robyn Hill is basically at the level of being a lead activist and is still running for a political position and is trying to demand information out of Ironwood, who is literally the general of Atlas and survived the fall of Beacon. He has legitimate reasons to not trust anyone, and yet they're demanding trust from him, and not divulging anything about their plans to him. And here's the big ticket flaw that affects literally everyone across the entire volume. That being that no one is rational and everyone reacts on impulse. To be completely honest, to fix this flaw, I would have to go through literally every character in the entire volume to fix it, to just resolve everyone having their own rationales for everything, and that would take too long in one video. The biggest example of her lacking rationale would be when she escalated the flight scene after Tyrion had been captured, which resulted in the fight between Clover, Crow, and Tyrion, and leading to the bullshit that had befallen Clover. While I realize there are obvious extraneous factors to that situation, Robyn antagonizing the situation did not help and quite literally escalated the situation further. But with all those flaws out of the way, we can start to discuss how I would fix them. To deal with the flaw of building her up as a hero, I would put moments of her being featured in the montage, maybe having Blake volunteer along with the group, earning her trust a little bit by little bit and showing friendly interaction. That way, it builds her up a bit more as a friendly face. As for dealing with her doing crimes, what I would do is probably remove the first scene that we meet her in, and exchange it for a different scene where we meet her on friendlier terms. She can still be suspicious of them, but not outright mean or untrusting of them. Then the attack on the convoy after the massacre comes off more as a misunderstanding than a deliberate attack. To deal with the flaw of hypocrisy, all we really need to do is change dialogue. As for the last flaw of a lack of rationale, that would require a lot of scenes to get reworked, with a lot of them being affected by the previous changes, like say the meeting with Blake and Yang, the meeting with Ironwood and Jock, and obviously the flight scene, which either remove it altogether or just auto-correct it that everyone's rational and acts rationally, while everyone else is basically fighting each other. Those are the flaws that I think affect Robyn, and how I think they should be fixed. And with that all being said, thank you guys for watching this episode. I will see you in the next one, and bye-bye!